And can this breakthrough really rewrite the rules of electric performance? Join us as we uncover how Mercedes and YASA just flipped the script on the future of EV technology.
I remember having a very simple question, which is, well, why are there no electric cars?
Birth of YASA. It began in 2009, inside a cramped Oxford University lab, where doctoral candidate Tim Woolmer grew tired of conventional electric hardware. Radial flux machines looked like iron drain pipes stuffed with copper and laminated steel, heavy, wasteful, and overdue for disruption. Woolmer asked a simple question: why should magnetic field lines travel the long way around a cylinder when they could cut straight?
When everyone thought this was just a dream, Mercedes has finally done what no one was expecting. Yes, you heard it right. Mercedes has now officially announced that their YASA Flux engine has become a reality. This powerful, lightweight, and advanced engine, which was previously limited to discussions in papers and hushed rumors, is now ready to enter the real world. The entire auto industry is abuzz, wondering what makes this engine so special that it could potentially outpace all competitors. Questions are being raised about whether this groundbreaking technology will soon become a serious challenge for companies like Tesla and BYD, and why Mercedes kept it under wraps for so many years. So what exactly is the YASA Flux engine? That's what everyone is dying to know. With this new announcement, the entire world was taken by surprise. Until now, most had dismissed the engine as nothing more than an experimental concept or a far-off prototype. For years, it was quietly discussed in technical circles. Some believed it was impossible, others said it wouldn't be viable for another 2 decades. But Mercedes has proven everyone wrong. The core problem in electric vehicles has always been balancing motor efficiency with battery range. More power usually means more battery consumption, which in turn adds weight. That's where Mercedes engineers had a revolutionary idea. What if a motor could be designed to be small, lightweight, and still incredibly powerful? This is how the concept of the YASA Flux Motor was born. The Flux Motor's design is radically different. It reduces the overall weight of the car, increases battery range, and delivers outstanding power. Yet, Mercedes chose not to launch it immediately. They knew that releasing such a major innovation required absolute perfection. This is why they kept it a secret for years. Until recently, it all remained hearsay. Occasionally, a leaked report would spark speculation, but it was dismissed as fantasy. Now, with Mercedes stepping forward and confirming the YASA Flux engine is real, the automotive world is in shock. So, what planning went on behind the scenes? Not many people know that Mercedes quietly acquired the YASA company in 2021. At the time, it seemed like just another routine acquisition, and few paid attention. But this was the pivotal move. YASA, a small British company, had been researching motor technology and had developed highly advanced flux motor prototypes. However, they lacked the resources for mass production. Mercedes saw the potential and gave YASA a free hand, telling them to take their time, conduct thorough research, and build a motor that would set a new global benchmark. Years passed without a single press conference. Outwardly, everything seemed calm, but inside, the Mercedes YASA team was working tirelessly. They faced failures, ran countless tests, made improvements, and maintained strict secrecy. Even Mercedes dealers were unaware. It was treated as a long-term future project. So when Mercedes finally unveiled the engine, the world was stunned. The impossible had become a reality, and it was standing proudly on the show floor. Now, what exactly is flux technology, and why is it so special? Let's break it down. Most electric motors used today in EVs are based on radial flow design, meaning the current and magnetic fields rotate in a way that results in significant energy loss through heat. To produce more power, the motors had to become bigger and heavier, making it difficult to balance range. Now, what exactly is flux technology, and why is it so special? Let's break it down. Most electric motors used today in EVs are based on radial flow design, meaning the current and magnetic fields rotate in a way that results in significant energy loss through heat. To produce more power, the motors had to become bigger and heavier, making it difficult to balance range and performance. EV makers could never offer both simultaneously. But flux technology has completely overturned that paradigm. The YASA Flux motor operates on an axial flux design. Think of it like this. While traditional motors rotate like a spinning wheel, the flux motor rotates like a fan. In axial flux motors, the current and magnetic field move at such an angle that energy loss is minimal. The result? Far more compact motors with significantly improved efficiency. Just imagine, where you once needed a 100 kilograms motor for a certain level of power, now that same power can be achieved with a motor weighing much less. This marks a transformative leap in EV technology. The same level of power that once required a 100 kilograms motor is now being delivered by the YASA Flux motor weighing just 30 to 40 kilograms. This drastic reduction in weight significantly lowers the vehicle's overall mass, reducing strain on the battery and increasing its range. One of the major advantages of the flux motor is its remarkable efficiency. It converts about 96 to 97% of electrical energy into power, far exceeding older motors which were less efficient and produced more heat. In contrast, the flux motor remains cool even under stress, sustaining high performance over longer periods. Another standout feature is its power density. The flux motor delivers nearly double the power within the same physical space, allowing vehicles to stay lighter while offering greater speed and quicker acceleration. Mercedes engineers have taken the original YASA Flux technology and refined it even further. YASA's innovation lies in their unique configuration of magnets and windings, which makes the motor more compact and efficient. This advancement has encouraged Mercedes to consider implementing it in high-performance cars like its AMG series. Imagine a motor light enough for two people to lift, yet powerful enough to match or even exceed supercar performance. That's the scale of this breakthrough. With the flux motor, cars will become more responsive, batteries will last longer, charging will be quicker, and the overall driving experience will be more exciting. Additionally, the flux motor's design is simpler and requires fewer complex parts, reducing manufacturing costs. This opens up the possibility for Mercedes to eventually offer this cutting-edge technology in more affordable, mass-market vehicles, a move that's causing serious concern for competitors. Companies like Tesla and BYD are now scrambling to catch up. In simple terms, flux motors make electric cars more powerful, more efficient, and more economical. That's why Mercedes' announcement has created a worldwide buzz. This isn't just a new motor, it's a complete disruption of the EV industry. The YASA Flux engine poses a direct threat to companies like Tesla and BYD, and for good reason. Tesla has long held a reputation for having the most efficient and advanced electric motors, while BYD became known for affordable, reliable EVs. But the advent of the flux motor could shift this balance dramatically. Let's start with Tesla. Their current motors operate on radial flow design, which performs well but comes with drawbacks: higher weight, larger size, and the need for robust cooling systems. Under sustained high performance, these motors tend to overheat. In contrast, the axial flux design of the YASA motor is compact, lighter, and sustains full power output for extended durations. If a new motor can offer twice the power in half the size, Tesla's dominance is naturally at risk, not just in terms of performance, but also cost and efficiency. With the flux motor, Mercedes can offer Tesla-level performance at a lower cost with better range. As for BYD, its strength lies in producing budget-friendly EVs with acceptable performance. However, their motors also rely on traditional radial technology, making them less efficient than what the flux motor can deliver. If Mercedes brings flux motor technology into the affordable EV segment, BYD's value proposition will be seriously challenged. The flux motor offers the rare combination of more power, more range, and lower cost, something no manufacturer has achieved until now. Traditionally, electric vehicles could offer either good range or strong power, not both. The flux motor rewrites that rulebook. Another advantage is design flexibility. Because the flux motor is compact, it frees up space inside the vehicle, allowing for more creative interior designs or even integration into vehicles where traditional motors couldn't fit. If Mercedes installs this motor in its AMG models and launches them, consumers may no longer be drawn to Tesla when similar performance, greater range, and the trust of the Mercedes brand are available in one package. Tesla will be forced to adapt, and BYD too is concerned that Mercedes might democratize this tech across their vehicle range, potentially dethroning BYD as the king of affordable EVs. The flux motor is such a significant leap that competitors now have only two options: either develop a similar technology or license it from Mercedes. If Mercedes locks down the patents and controls access, they could maintain a lead for years. This is why the YASA Flux engine is being hailed as a game-changer in the EV world. It's not just another new motor, it's a transformational technology that's keeping rival companies awake at night. But what did Mercedes actually prove with this technology? Let's talk about testing and results. Once they acquired YASA, Mercedes began secret tests of the Flux motor. Initial lab tests focused on power, cooling, and efficiency. The early years were filled with challenges. The motor overheated and components failed. But the YASA team steadily improved the design. By 2022, Mercedes had a working prototype which they tested in their flagship EQS electric sedan. The results were impressive. The car became 70 kilograms lighter, and its battery range increased by around 12%. Encouraged by this, Mercedes tested the Flux motor in their AMG series vehicles, known for high performance. The motor performed exceptionally well, reducing the 0 to 100 km/h acceleration time by about 0.7 seconds in models like the AMG EQE and AMG EQS, all without putting additional stress on the battery. To prove its durability, Mercedes ran the AMG EQE with the Flux motor for 24 hours on a private track. The motor maintained steady performance without overheating, a major improvement over traditional motors, which tend to lose efficiency under prolonged high-speed driving. They then installed it in SUVs, including the EQS SUV series. These vehicles require higher torque and carry more weight, but the Flux motor excelled again, enhancing pickup, lowering weight, and increasing battery efficiency. Finally, in 2024, Mercedes publicly demonstrated the Flux motor. At a private event, they showcased the EQS equipped with the motor, and it stunned the crowd by accelerating from 0 to 100 km/h in just 3.2 seconds. The smooth and fast performance rivaled that of AMG's petrol-powered supercars. Mercedes even did a direct comparison. They raced a standard EQE against a Flux EQE. While the standard version ran out of battery, the Flux EQE kept going, covering 50 kilometers more. These public demos proved the Flux motor was no longer a lab prototype. It was production-ready and scalable, from luxury to entry-level models. The global implications of this are massive. When Mercedes introduced the YASA Flux motor, it wasn't just another innovation. It shook the foundation of the auto industry. Major automakers like Tesla, BYD, Ford, Hyundai, and Volkswagen have all been racing to dominate the EV space. Tesla focused on high performance, while BYD built its identity around affordable EVs. But Mercedes has now inserted itself between both ends of the spectrum, offering both performance and affordability with the Flux motor. Tesla's motors are efficient, but the Flux motor is lighter, more powerful, and offers better range, pressuring Tesla to rethink its motor tech. When you combine performance, range, and luxury in one package, customers will naturally gravitate toward it. And that's the fear haunting Tesla right now. The impact of the YASA Flux motor extends beyond just technological innovation. It's set to revolutionize the entire electric vehicle market and deeply affect both customers and global automakers. Starting with companies like BYD, which gained popularity by offering more affordable EVs, the introduction of Flux motor poses a serious threat. If Mercedes manages to implement this advanced motor in its cheaper models, BYD and similar companies will be forced to invest heavily in R&D to stay relevant. Automakers such as Volkswagen, Hyundai, and Ford, who have primarily focused on improving battery technology and vehicle design, must now shift focus to motor efficiency, as Flux technology has proven the real breakthrough lies in the motor itself. From the customer's perspective, this is excellent news. Electric vehicles are set to become more affordable, efficient, and powerful in the coming years. Previously, high cost and limited range were major deterrents for buyers. However, with the Flux motor being significantly lighter, batteries can offer more range while reducing production costs. Once this motor enters mass-market vehicles, EV adoption will accelerate rapidly. Performance will also be enhanced. High torque, better pickup, and smoother driving will give EVs the same feel as petrol-powered cars, breaking long-standing perceptions about their inferiority in driving dynamics. According to Bloomberg, the EV market is already growing quickly, with projections that by 2030, every second car sold globally will be electric. The introduction of Flux technology will likely speed this up, as it allows manufacturers to build more reliable, better-performing EVs. This will also intensify competition among automakers. Currently, Tesla and BYD dominate the market, but with Mercedes entering the game with such an advanced technology, a wave of innovation will follow, ultimately benefiting customers. There's also a broader economic and environmental impact. As flux motors improve battery efficiency, the demand for raw materials used in batteries will decrease, reducing overall costs and easing environmental strain. Moreover, increased EV adoption will significantly cut down on fossil fuel consumption and emissions. Many countries have already set deadlines, like 2035, to phase out petrol and diesel cars, and flux technology will make that transition smoother and faster. Now the question arises, what does all this mean for the average person? Is flux motor technology only for the elite, or will it be accessible to everyone? Mercedes has made it clear, this isn't a distant dream. It's a near-future reality. The biggest advantage for everyday buyers is the lighter vehicle weight, which reduces battery load and allows future EVs to reach ranges of up to 800 to 1,000 kilometers. One of the biggest hesitations people have about EVs, frequent charging, will largely disappear. Another huge benefit is performance. The flux motor delivers speed, smoothness, and zero overheating, bringing sports car-like capabilities to electric cars. Charging times will also reduce as less battery strain means faster charging cycles. While many assume that such a revolutionary technology will come with a hefty price tag, Mercedes claims that mass production will significantly reduce costs. The motor's simple design allows it to be manufactured easily and at scale. Within 2 to 3 years, the cost of vehicles equipped with flux motors is expected to match or even undercut those of Tesla and BYD. As this technology rolls out, competition will force other companies to match or exceed Mercedes' offerings, leading to more affordable, high-performance EVs for everyone. This is why the flux motor is being called a game changer. It's making EVs faster, smarter, more economical, and offering greater range. Mercedes has announced that the first production cars equipped with flux motors will be launched by the end of 2025, starting with their high-performance AMG EQE and EQS models. From 2026 onward, the technology will be gradually introduced in other models. The initial launch will take place in Europe and the US, where EV demand is highest, and by 2027 to 2028, markets like India and other Asian countries will also begin to see flux motor-equipped cars on their roads. Mercedes aims to equip all its EV models with flux motors by 2030. If successful, this will set a new benchmark for the industry. Other companies will have no choice but to follow this technology or risk being left behind. The flux motor is not just a concept anymore, it is a production-ready reality, and its arrival marks a turning point in the evolution of electric vehicles. The EV market, once considered a niche, is now set to become mainstream, and not just for the wealthy, but for everyday people as well. Looking to the future, the biggest question remains, will this truly reshape the entire auto industry? With the unveiling of the YASA Flux Motor, it's already happening. The technology is so advanced that no major automaker can afford to ignore it. Engineers from Tesla, BYD, Hyundai, Volkswagen, and Ford are already studying it closely, knowing that if they fail to adapt, they risk becoming obsolete. The EV industry is already undergoing a major transformation as consumers shift away from petrol and diesel, but the flux motor has accelerated that transition. Complaints about poor range, slow charging, and weak performance are being addressed all at once. In the near future, EVs won't just be more popular, they'll be dominant, making it nearly impossible for internal combustion vehicles to compete. Flux motors are enabling supercar-like performance in an affordable and sustainable package. Of course, other companies won't stay idle. Tesla is already working on next-gen motor technology, and BYD is expected to introduce something similar in its low-cost models. This means the competition is heating up, which is great news for consumers. One thing is now certain, the flux motor has set a new standard. Going forward, EV manufacturers can no longer just sell any electric vehicle. They'll have to offer faster, more efficient, and longer-range options. This shift will speed up the global decline of petrol and diesel vehicles. It's very possible that by 2030, EVs will become the default in many countries. The flux motor hasn't just changed Mercedes' future, it has changed the direction of the entire auto industry. Now, the only question is, who can keep up with Mercedes in this new race? For now, the ball is clearly in Mercedes' court, and they're running with it.